Cool. Let's have a look at the next one. So the next examples, we're actually gonna use these skills of putting in inverse trig into our calculator to help find a missing side. So let's have a look at this triangle here. Now, when you're trying to find a missing angle, we use the same 4 steps. So for the last while, we've been going through the same 4 steps. The same 4 steps still apply here, but instead of the last 2, we're going to be using inverse trig, inverse trig, inverse trig. Missing angles, inverse trig. Okay, so let's have a go at this question. We want to find the value of theta, the angle in this triangle here, to the nearest degree. First step, the first step is still the same. I want to label my sides and identify the trig ratio. So let's label the sides. We start off with the hypotenuse. Right angle at the bottom here, go across. So my 10 is my hypotenuse. Nice and easy. Next one, I go to my angle. My angle this time is theta. Theta, it's missing. I don't know what it is. I'm going to go across from theta. I'm going to go to the 6. That is my opposite side. And the final side is my adjacent side. Luckily for me, I don't have anything in the adjacent side. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. We need to now identify the trig ratio. Remember the acronym. SO, CA, TOA. Which 2 sides do I have? I have O and H. Which one has O and H? Oh, look. SO has O and H, so I'm going to use sine. So let's write that down. So, hang on. Let me try that again. We have now labeled the sides and identified the trig ratio. We've got all my sides. I'm going to be using sine. Let's write a trig equation for my triangle here. So here, what I'm going to write is, I'm going to be using sine. Now, if you remember, regular trig, I put in an angle there. What's the angle that I have here for my triangle here? I don't know it. It's actually theta. So I'm just going to write sine theta. When we had those missing sides, we actually were given the angle. This time that we don't know the angle, we're going to write theta to represent our missing side. Missing side theta. Okay, that's going to be equal to, what is sine equal to? O over H. Opposite over hypotenuse. That's what this order here at the top, O and H, O over H. So I'm going to write that is equal to O, which is 6, over H, which is 10. Okay, 6 over 10. Okay. We dealt with this just then. If I want to figure out what the angle is, now I want to rearrange and solve. I want to rearrange this. I want to figure out what theta is, my angle. How do I undo regular trig? Inverse trig, inverse trig. So here I'm going to go sine inverse of my ratio. 6 over 10. So sine inverse of my ratio. So just remember here, in my example here, I've got an angle here. I've got my ratio or fraction over here. So my input for my inverse trig is my ratio slash fraction. And there we go, nice and easy. I've got what my angle is. I just need to put it into my calculator. So here, let's have a go at that. So I'm going to go shift sine inverse fraction 6 over 10. And we get that the angle is 36.86. I want it to the nearest degree, so I'm rounding it to the nearest whole number. So 36.8. 8, do I round up or down? I round it up. So I add 1 to the previous number. So here it's going to be 37 degrees. So theta is equal to 37 degrees. And there we go. That's how we find a missing angle or an unknown angle using trig. Okay, so when you have trying to find a missing angle, we use inverse trig and put into our inverse trig our ratio, which is what we had down here. So put into your inverse trig your ratio. Okay,